So you're still not clear on some of the different fees that are associated with your 401k? Well, in this video, I want to help to clarify some of those for you and give you some more insight. Coming up. Hey there, it's Billy with Keep on Cashflow, helping you to grow your money and your mindset so that you can get closer to the lifestyle that you really want to lead faster. Now, on this channel, we're going to be sharing lots of tips and strategy videos just like this one. So if it's your first time here, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And you also want to make sure that you check out the comments and the links that are in the section below, because you're going to get a lot of value and you're going to help the community to grow. But as for today, I want to talk to you about some of those different fees that are associated with the 401k and also how that could potentially impact you. And one of the reasons that I started thinking about this and wanted to share with you was I was thinking about a study that was done by the AARP, and in this survey it's actually stated that some 71% of retirees were unaware that there were fees associated with their 401k plan. So what I want to do is bring to you some of the different fees that are associated with your 401k plan so it can help you make better decisions as you move forward, or just better understand what are some of the impacts that these fees can have on you. First of all, I want to talk to you about what is known as different types of sales commissions, more or less, and more than less. But there are the front end and the back end loads is what they call them. So if you hear about a front end load, it basically means you're paying a sales commission from the very beginning for work that's going to be done on your portfolio. If you pay on the back end load, basically it means at retirement they're going to start to take money out in terms of the commission for the sales. You also have things like management fees, which are fees that are associated with the management of the overall portfolio, or think about it as management of your money. You have different types. Another type of fee that you'll commonly find are director or trustees fees. You can find things like legal fees. You can also find things like audit fees. So see, these are a number of the different fees that when you look at your prospectus of your 401k, it will really talk to you about these fees, and more specifically as it relates to an individual prospectus or an explanation of what's inside the 401k, that will help you understand a lot more. There are also other couple types of fees. For instance, a shareholder fee that you may find, and basically anyone who is a shareholder of a particular 401k or the funds in which they invest. Think about this more as the administrative fees that are used to make sure that you're informed, you get communication, things like that that are in the that are part of the fee. And then lastly, I want to talk to you about different service fees. Service fees that could be associated. Sometimes you may ask yourself, well, why are service fees not part of the shareholder service fees? But that will depend on each type of 401k and each individual prospectus. And then lastly, as I mentioned, you can also pay things like brokerage fees, and the brokerage fees are fees that are paid to that specific custodian or broker of the 401k plan. There's even one that's kind of special, and that's the 12B1 fee. And the 12B1 fee is something that was started back in the 1940s for actual mutual fund companies to go out and be able to use advertising to bring in more people for funds. So some of these 12B1s still exist today. It's maybe one of the questions you may want to ask the person who is advising on your 401k, if that is one of the fees that's associated. So as I mentioned before, sometimes these fees anywhere can affect, I guess on the low end, all of these fees combined can be as low as probably 0.5%, maybe as high as 5% of the overall value within the 401k. You really need to check that with whoever your custodian is, and they can best advise you there. So more than anything else, what I wanted to make sure is that you were aware of this information, that you did understand that there were fees that are associated with the 401k, and you'll want to do potentially an exercise. And I talked to why am I also sharing this with you? Because you'll want to understand that from the difference between a 3% return and a 5% return, if you look at that over 20, 25, or 30 years, which typically these retirement plans are used to supplement your income, it can make a really big difference. I even like to go online. I like to Google things like compound interest calculators. You can find out, for instance, if you use $100,000, let's say you put in $1,000 every year, you do that at 5%, then you detract or you subtract the different fees that are associated with it, gives you a net value, and you can actually see the difference between 1 or 2% over 20 or 30 years. It can make a really big impact in terms of your nest egg at the end of retirement. So as you know, I always love to leave you with the question of the day. So I've talked to you about a number of the different 401k fees that are associated. I'd like to know from you which of these fees was the newest fee that you were unaware of. If you are unaware of all of them, go ahead and leave that in the comments in the section below so that you can also share that with other people. And I also love to understand, once you've gone to the compound interest calculator, what kind of results did it give you, and what was the difference between 1 or 2% over that 20 to 30 year period? So this is Billy Keels with Keep on Cash Flow. That's my 2 cents for today, and as always, hasta la próxima.